Hello and welcome back to Awaken and Ascend. On today's episode, I have a gentleman from Brisbane, Australia. His name is Jarne Grossstueck. He's an intuitive healer, a Reiki master, coach, and mentor. The art of healing has inspired him since childhood and has been his driving force ever since. His goal is the creation of heaven on earth, and today he is joining me to share his insights on just how to do that and show us how heaven can actually be a state of mind. Welcome, Jarne. It's so wonderful to have you here.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, obviously, you've been on this journey for quite a while. Ever since childhood, you've been inspired by the art of healing. And so that's what lit your path. And I'm wondering what actually brought you to experience the art of healing, even back then in childhood.
The first memory I always got drawn into is how energy is working. So always, I couldn't even walk, and I contemplated people's words and their action, how misaligned their words and their feelings are. An example. So as we know, the more we are aligning what we say with what we feel, the more aligned, the more healed we are actually, the more centered we are. The first memory, though, where I really consciously thought of healing was sitting in a church. My parents didn't really believed in specific thing, but somehow Christians, but they never really said us this is what you have to believe. So it was very open always. So I was sitting in a church, looked up at the man they call Jesus, and I looked at this man and I listened to what the priest was saying. And voice came to me, or my higher self voice, that I want to do things as he did. So this was really the first time that I got introduced into that healing. The egoic part obviously said like, who are you to say that you're capable of doing something as he? But I somehow, if he can do those things, like why shouldn't I? He was a human, I am a human. So this is basically how it all started up, yeah.
I find that really fascinating. And I found it fascinating too on January 6th of this year that the Epiphany, which is the awakening of Christ and the awakening of Christ consciousness, coincided with a full moon, which is all about that peak experience and illumination. And for that to occur on the same day was very auspicious. And for me, it's a bit of a sign of the ascension process, the shift of the new paradigm, the shift in the way that we're relating to each other and the world and the consciousness that is growing from that. I'm wondering what you think of that and what you think of when you think of Jesus and what he did and what you were trying to and want to emulate through that.
It really is a way of being that we're coming back to. And yeah, Christ consciousness is what I'm connected to my whole life. And if I really look back into every time I listen to my intuition, to my heart, to my higher self, what I'm doing is I'm channeling Christ consciousness. And we all have the Christ within. For us to realize that, not to make a person, a being, to put them on a pedestal. Now they are more than we are. This is like we shouldn't compare us. We should, I believe, thrive to become the best version we can possibly be. And for me, this is the way of the heart. This is really the way of service. And as long as we do what we love, everything takes care on its own.
Yes, it does. And it really comes to realization of being able to trust in the process, in having faith. And for me, faith is an acronym for finding answers in the heart. So I love that you're talking about coming from the place within your heart, within your soul. And you also talk about heaven as a state of mind. So explain that. What is the state of mind that we call heaven?
We can actually tune into the states we intend to tune into. And rather than, now actually seeing all of the chaos, the mess in the collective on planet Earth is because the minds are in the mess. So therefore, when we're clearing out that state of mind, we start to healing ourselves. We're acting from a loving, compassionate place. Then we're actually creating a state of mind I call heaven, because heaven for me is the state of mind is because I accept things, or like I choose consciously to tune into those higher frequencies of love, to experience that state of mind wherever I go. And I always observe, now also looking back towards my life when I haven't been in that state, that it was the thoughts I have not had under control. But learning to control my thoughts and to direct my focus towards really loving myself helped me to really move into that place on, yeah, on a continual basis. Just have to remind myself back to this.
It sounds like we can think of the healing journey then as a journey of self-love, of coming back to love and to a return to love, not fearing any insecurities, fearing things that we should be doing out in society, ways of that we should be or shouldn't be or should be doing or shouldn't be doing, to really just stop shooting on ourselves, right? And
Exactly.
really come back to that place of love. Love, though, can be a difficult emotion for people who felt that they were hurt by love. And so there are different frequencies that can be experienced through love as well. And if you think of love as another acronym, it can be seen as lots of vital energy,
Mm.
lots of vital energy. So when you talk about thriving, that's that vitality, that energy that flows through where we don't feel stuck or hurt, rather that we can expand with it and grow. And so I really like thinking of love that way, as this
Mm.
high frequency vibrational attunement that we can give ourselves and that we can share and transmit with others, that we can spread love and we can share love and we can be open to give and to receive love and really expand our capacity to carry that kind of love.
Yes, it's love is a very, very deep topic, and love is not always here you have some roses. It really isn't like that. I think love is the knowing also of how things are. And to bring this back to the point of faith, what I really think is an important topic, if we look at the Christian belief, lots of faith is required in there. That I believe humanity lost on faith, like that we are as collective, and the collective consciousness from us, that we're lacking on that faith faith within ourselves. Why is it like that? It's because we're the actions that we take, and there again, they're in misalignment with that frequency we can call love. Because when we're acting not in that state of love, then we see we see what we created basically on this planet. So lots of topics I could point on. I think I just hand over to you right now. Yeah.
Yes, well, going back to heaven as a state of mind and creating that heaven here on earth, it's not just a thought, it's not just a state of mind, it's also a feeling, an experience. So take us into that experience of heaven on earth. What is it
Yes.
that we can fill into and feed into and lead into through the creation of heaven on earth? Share that with
Yes.
us.
Sure. So for us to experience the feeling, firstly, we have to reconnect to our feeling. And what I really, really encourage everyone to do is to feel everything that needs to be felt. Running away from our problems will never lead us towards real happiness and joy, lightness, and at the end of the day, to the state of mind like I call heaven, or other people might call it that way as well. And for that experience, we really have to feel everything. I tend to say now as well that we feel our way to fulfillment. And the most of the people, they're in the mental and now also with the personal development scene, there's so much mindset work, which is great. Yeah, the mind is a powerful thing. But therefore, like when we implement the knowledge that we receive and we're embodying the knowledge and we're being with that knowledge integrated, yeah, then we have this way of being that is Christ-like if we really choose to go that path. And this is in every single step of life, we have the choice. And this is powerful. Like that we're taking time for ourselves to feel what feels right for me. No right and wrong, another concept, but for the individual, what feels right for the individual in this current moment, to really place the information right in the heart and feeling and experiencing from that place, and from there on making the decisions rather than being too logical, because we are emotional beings. We have to experience the emotion first. Therefore, we can act the way we really love to act. We learn to express ourselves, and therefore we can really impact the people, the world, as we wish to.
I remember when I was studying psychology in university, we were doing a chapter on defense mechanisms. And it was an awareness how intellectualization is the defense mechanism. That's where we get too logical and we start analyzing. And you can even think of analyzing as anal eyes, right? We scrutinize and we overthink and we get caught in that thought world and we lose our connection to our heart and what's real and what we're feeling. And I love that you talked about not running away, because we always have a choice, like you say, and people yearn for and say they want and desire freedom and fulfillment. Well, that comes from choice, having a choice. We have the freedom to choose. And when you're choosing not to run away, then you're choosing to embrace your power, to embrace your ability to heal, to embrace your capacity to feel. And I remember when I would go to meetings in different 12-step programs, that there was a choice around fear, where, again, we're with the acronyms, where you can forget everything and run, or you can face everything and recover.
Mm.
Very important
Yeah,
path.
I
There's
like
that
that
fork
one.
in the road, right?
Face everything and rise is another thing I've learned.
Yes, face everything and rise. I love
Rise,
that one. That's where
yeah,
we're headed to, right? To face everything and rise.
yeah, and it's so powerful. And you named the word power as well. And this is actually the word that came in my awareness beginning of this year, that I take this word for this year. I combine it with peace, love, and power. And those three words I take with me for this whole year. And it's really about facing things. Like we run away, but our shadow won't leave us. It is, it's right there. Like we cannot run away from it, so we have to be with it. And yeah, powerful stuff.
To be with it, to be with it, to
Mm,
be with it. I think that's really profound what you said just there, to be with ourselves, to not abandon ourselves.
Yeah, and yeah, not even not punishing ourselves as well.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's for us to, as long as we're not making different choices, we will experience the same patterns again and again. No, bring an example of my life. I attracted the same kind of people. They looked a bit different. They had different size, but they had the same characteristics because I still haven't healed that part of myself. I wanted to move forward, but I still attracted the same kind of people and still do to a certain degree. You know, it is really for us to make different choices to be with whatever it is that we run away from, that we do not want to see right now because it feels a bit uncomfortable. Then to really go into it, to be with it, to sit, to learn to sit with ourselves in silence,
Yeah.
learning to be alone with ourselves, knowing that we are still not alone as well. No, and starting to become our own best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And this is profound. If you can be with yourself alone, like you, who do you run away from? Like, it's an interesting thing, isn't it? So yeah, learning to become my own best friend on daily basis, and from there on, I think everything flows with more ease. Mm.
Everything flows with more ease. Absolutely. And you mentioned that you're a healer as well. We brought that up in the introduction. What is it that you feel needs to be healed? When you see people that are coming for a healing session,
Yeah,
some of the things that are coming to be healed.
the the integration of the emotions and the feeling. It goes back to the feeling because now I call myself intuitive healer because I feel I feel so much that I tune into the feeling of that love, of that infinite intelligence, and rely on the heart and intent to do the best. And what I feel is that I can help people really getting out of their head and into the body, into the feeling, because this is when we start to feel again what is right for us, you know, what certain parts need healing. And yeah, the feeling is really a big one where I see myself also to guide people back to that feeling after every session, people having usually an experience of being in theta, being just receptive and in being. They don't try to do, they are, and they're being with that is, because we cannot run away from something we are part of. It is for us to analyzing those parts and being with it. Hmm.
Beautiful. And so, what do you witness on the person's healing journey when they start to do that, when they start to connect with their feelings and their emotions and learn to embrace that? What do you see then?
The communication, we start having way deeper conversations than we had before. It is not just a conversation from brain to brain. It is a heart to heart conversation because our brain can distort, delete, you know, we don't even hear things. But on that level of the heart, having a heart to heart conversation, it's so beautiful, deep, and honest. We're in the present moment. And as we all know, in the present moment is where we create magic. We're not creating magic when we're living in the future. We're not creating magic when we're living in the past. We're creating magic in the now and being present and now opening ourselves up to receive all of those blessings. And we stop blocking it to come in. Yeah.
Yes, I found for myself when I was working in social services for a number of years with various populations, it took many different forms. And one of the hindrances to deeply connecting was only being able to connect role to role, us versus them kind of mentality. And for me, I had a deep yearning to want to connect soul to soul. And
Mm.
so that's what took me away from that kind of work in the systems to be able to do it from a much different way where I could connect more soul to soul, like doing the healing work and mentoring and coaching and teaching and guiding, being able to connect soul to soul. So it's not so much teacher and student because it's also vice versa, right? The teacher becomes the student becomes the teacher. We're all here to support each other. As Ram Dass says, we're all here to walk each other home. We're all in this together. And we get to mirror each other. We get to heal with each other. We get to cry together. We get to laugh together. We get to experience life together. And so I love the way that you're talking about supporting people. And I want everyone here that's listening and watching, either now or in a replay, how they can connect with you for that connection, for that support, for that love, for that mentoring, for the intuitive healing that you offer. How will people connect?
For sure. It's basically on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. And yeah, also now on YouTube. So I will give you my links. I put the links. They will be found underneath the video. And yeah, it's really important to know that there's always, if we think that there's no solution, then tapping back into who we are and really feeling, knowing that there are always people who support us. This is really what I want people to know, because I felt alone my whole life, because of not expressing myself, because of not talking about my feelings, my emotions. You know, a man has to be strong. All those, no, like a man's don't cry as a heavy example. You know, for men specifically to know that we are also having that side and we're here to embody all of that. Now we can cry together, we can love together, all of those things. And yeah, I really want everyone to know that there's always an open space for me. All the links to connect or ways to connect will be found underneath the video. And yeah, I just love to be here with you all on that experience in this current time, which is so exciting. I really know what we're creating, the magic that is happening, coming back together and uniting. It's a blessing to be here.
Thank you. It's truly been a blessing with you, Yana, to be here with you and sharing this time with you. And I also thank each and every one of you that have been listening and watching. I'm Jennifer Regular, the Soul Illuminator at Lighting the Path, and also host of the show Awaken and Ascend, where I get to connect with you every week, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.